guys, my name is Jan, and today I'm going to show you how to play Play Ball by ACDC. So grab your electric guitar and let's jump right into it. The intro sounds like this. Listen, right? So it's a G to start. Then we go to a C major, and then we put our pinky right underneath the ring finger on the fourth string on the third fret to make it a C sus chord, and then we take it back off to go to a regular C. Now listen to the timing of this. 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, and 4. So we play the G on the 1, then we play the open C chord on the 2. On the 2 and, we add our pinky, and then on the 3 and, we take it back off. Let me loop this for you guys so you get a chance to catch on. 2, 3, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. And then they go to a G that they let ring out for 2 bars. Let's go ahead and do that one more time. 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now the verse is very similar to the intro at the beginning, as in we play a G, and we get to that pinky being on the 4th string on the 3rd fret for the C sus. But then Angus Young does something different. So these are 6s. So what we're going to do is we're going to play the 4th string open. We're going to hammer on our middle finger to it, and we're going to slide to the 2nd fret. So one more time, we play the D string open. We hammer on our middle finger on the 1st fret. We slide it up to the 2nd fret, and then we add our index finger on the 1st fret on the 2nd string, and we pluck both those strings. Then we're going to keep sliding up with our middle finger, and we're going to put our ring finger on the 2nd string on that 3rd fret. We're going to pluck that, and then we're going to take this shape up 2 frets to the 5th fret. Then I'm going to add my pinky on the 2nd string on the 6th fret, and then I'm going to take it back off. Now my right hand, what I'm doing is my middle finger is plucking the 2nd string, the B string, and with a pick I am plucking the 4th string, the D string. So if I put my 6s on, like that first shape, index on the 2nd string, 1st fret, and the middle finger on the 1, 2, 3, 4th fret, 4th string, 2nd fret, sounds like this. So a good thing to practice in order to get this part down is to just go up and down these 6s. Starting with this first one, which is very much like an A minor without a ring finger. And then again we slide up with our middle finger, add our ring finger on the 2nd string on that same fret as the middle finger. Pluck that, and we slide that whole shape up, and then you add your pinky on the 2nd string on that 6th fret, and then you take it back off. So let's piece this whole thing together, starting from the chords. And by the way, I don't really put my index finger on the G. It's more like a G power chord. You kind of don't need to use that index finger. You can if you want. It's not going to make a huge difference. I'm going to play it without my index finger. So I'm going to go. that verse goes around 4 times, and the third and the fourth time, if you listen to the song with headphones, you'll hear a second guitar coming in that sounds like this. So let's go ahead and break that down. Again, it's a G and a C mostly, right? And we add that pinky underneath the ring finger to make it a suspended chord. That's exactly the same as the other part. And then they break, they take their pinky off and they hit that C again. And then they go C, C sus, and C. So one more time, we have a G to C, then sus. I'm muting with my right hand, we'll get to that in a second. We play the C again, and then C, C sus, and C again. Let's go ahead and give that a shot. 3, 4, and... mutes I was doing it with my right hand. Think of a karate person breaking bricks, and you're not going to hit hard, you're just going to put your hand on those strings to mute. And they call it palm muting, but I'm not putting the palm of my hand on the strings, rather the side of my hand, like I was a karate person, right? So I'm going, there's my karate chop, right? That brings us to the chorus in the song, which is going to have 2 guitar parts. Let's start with Angus's part. Let's start with the right hand. My middle finger is going to be on the 2nd string, and that's all the middle finger is going to do. And then with the pick, I'm going to be plucking my 4th string, my D string. So if I do that open without any fingers on the guitar, it would sound like that. Notice that my pick is going down to the floor, and my middle finger is going up to the sky. And I see a lot of my students kind of stacking their fingers one on top of the other, and then they kind of get in the way of each other. So what you want to do is you want to angle your wrist a little bit so that your pick is in front of the middle finger, meaning the pick is closer to the headstock and your middle finger is closer to the back of the guitar. And then as you pick one movement going against the other, they won't get in each other's way. He uses probably, or this is my interpretation at least, his index finger on the 1, 2, 3rd fret on the 2nd string, and then I'm going to put my ring finger on the 5th fret on the 1, 2, 3 on the 4th fret. And then with my right hand I'm going to pluck those 2 places on the guitar. My middle finger is going to be plucking the 2nd string that has my index finger on it, and my pick is going to be plucking the 4th string which has my ring finger on it. Now I'm going to pluck that twice. Then I'm going to add my pinky on the 5th fret on the 2nd string. I'm going to pluck that once. Again, both strings, we're always going to be plucking both strings, the 2nd and the 4th strings. Then I'm going to slide my pinky up to the 6th fret. It's a bit of a stretch, but we're not going to hold it very long. And I'm going to pluck that another 2 times. And then I'm going to tuck that pinky back into the 5th fret and I'm going to pluck another 3 times. So altogether we have 2 times without a pinky, then once with the pinky on the 5th fret, twice with the pinky on the 6th fret, and then another 3 times with the pinky back on the 5th fret. And they're going to do that 4 times before they change chords. Let's give that a shot. 3, 4, and 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Then what we're going to do is we're going to slide this whole shape all the way up to a C, where our index finger is on the 2nd string still, but this time on the 8th fret, and our ring finger is going to be still on the 4th string, but on the 10th fret. That's a C chord for you, and we're going to do exactly the same movement, but up here. So we're going to play this shape twice. We're going to add our pinky on the 2nd string on that 10th fret, play that once. Then we're going to stretch our pinky up. This time it's easier because we're further up the neck to the 11th fret, and we're going to pluck that twice. And then we tuck the pinky back into that 10th fret and we pluck it another 3 times. It'll sound like this. Let's see if we can do that in a loop. Ready? 3 and now let's try to do 4 times on our G and then 4 times on our C. Ready? 3, 4, and from there, the other guitar is just going to play a big G for a count of 4, and he's going to do that 4 times. And Angus is playing his lick over that, which sounds like this. So let's break that lick down. He's using the G minor pentatonic, which you might be familiar with. And he's going to bend the 2nd string on the 6th fret. It's very common to bend that spot in that pattern of the minor pentatonic. We all do it. So it's a full step bend. You have to bend all the way to this note, which is your 2nd string on your 8th fret. So what I do is I put not only my ring finger on that 2nd string, 6th fret, but I put my middle finger behind it and also my index finger, and that way I can use all 3 fingers for that bend. Makes it a whole lot easier. And I'm going to bend up, then my index finger is going to go to the 1st string on the 3rd fret, which is the same note, right? And then to go down the scale, I put my pinky on that 2nd string on that 6th fret, then down the scale, index on the 2nd string, 3rd fret. Then we get to another commonly bent note in this pattern, which is your 3rd string on the 5th fret, and I'm going to bend it with my middle finger, with my ring finger, middle, and index, all three. I'm going to bend up, and then I'm going to release that bend. And then I go to my index finger on the 3rd fret on the 3rd string, and then finally I resolve the lick to the root on the 4th string on the 5th fret. One more time. So let's loop this lick, which by the way is a great way to practice and learn licks. You just play them in a loop, and people use that in a song. This is a great example. Angus is playing this lick 4 times before they go on to the next section. So let's give that a shot very slowly. 3 and... Bend that 2nd string to the 1st string, and then pinky, index, ring finger, and all your helper fingers. Bend up, release it, index finger. This is all the 3rd string, and resolve it to the 4th string on the 5th fret. And one more time. Faster. One more time. A little bit faster. Now the rhythm guitar on the solo, the first 4 times is just like the intro. We play a G. Again, I don't use my index finger for this power G, so to speak. And we go to that C, we add our pinky, and we take it off, just like the intro. We do that 4 times. And then the whole chord will change. The lead part changes to a C up here, right? So I think the rhythm guitar, this again is just my opinion, like this whole video is just my opinion on what I hear. But I believe they're playing a C major chord, then they're going to go to an F chord, and I'm going to voice it like this, meaning I'm putting my index finger on the 2nd string, my middle finger on the 3rd string on the 2nd fret, and my ring finger on the 4th string on the 3rd fret. So it's like a little stair shape, if you will. That way I can do the same movement that I was doing on my C by adding the pinky underneath the ring finger. For a suspended chord, I can do that on that F. So it'll sound like this. I'll have a C, then that stair-shaped F, then with the pinky on for an F sus, and then I take my pinky back off. I believe this is the easiest way to play the song up to speed. So let's give that a shot. I'm going to play the C on the 1, then I go to F on the 2, on the 2 and I add my pinky, and then on the 3 and I take it back off, all downstrokes with the right hand. Let's give that a shot. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3 and 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 4. So that happens 4 times as well, and then they go to whole notes on a G. A whole note means you let it ring for a count of 4. It's very easy. Again, I don't use my index finger on this G. 2, 3, 4, 2, 3. That's where you hear that lick on top, right? So let's try playing the G to C, C sus4 and C 4 times, and then the C to F sus4 4 times. Ready? Let's give that a shot. 1, 2, 3, and... Last 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go ahead and try that one more time, a little bit faster. 1, 2, 3, and... Remember that mute right there. Stay on C to F, back to C. After they play their first chorus, they go back to a verse and back to another chorus, which are exactly the same. And then, then we're on that G, like we were just doing, playing that for a count of 4. And then they're just going to shift that up a whole step. What that means is the rhythm guitar is just going to be playing an A chord, A major or A power chord, right? Your index finger across the 2nd fret. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Very easy, right? 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. And the lead guitar is doing that same lick that we were doing down here in G. But they move it all up 2 frets or a whole step so that they start with their ring finger on the 8th fret on the 2nd string. And they do that 4 times. Sorry about that. So let's maybe practice that lick in A together a little bit slower. 3 and again, 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 So that brings us to the solo section. I'll post a link on the actual lead part, the actual solo. Let's go over the rhythm part though. It's pretty interesting. In my opinion, this is what they're doing. Let me play it for you. 3 and... So it's really just an A and then a D, but they do their cool ACDC embellishments, so let's talk about them. First thing is just an A major chord. It's quite easy, your index finger across the 2nd fret. And they do a downstroke on that, and then what I do is I'll go to my ring finger on the 4th string on the 5th fret. And though it looks like I'm strumming everything, I'm muting my 6th string and my top 3 strings, and I only let the 4th and the 5th strings ring out. Now that sounds pretty cool on an A, right? then I go to a D, but instead of doing my full D, I don't really care about my middle finger. I use my ring finger and my index finger. I strum that once, and then I put my index finger on the first fret on the second string, and my middle finger on the second fret on the 1, 2 on the third string. So it's almost like a partial D7 chord, if that tells you anything. That's a D7, I'm not using my ring finger. So again, index finger on the first fret, second string, and middle finger on the second fret on the third string. And then the last thing I do is I'll go to my 4th fret on the 3rd string with my ring finger. And though it looks again like I'm strumming everything, I'm muting my 1st and 2nd strings and my 5th and 6th strings. So all you hear is the 3rd string and the 4th string. So you can play just those if you're more comfortable doing that. So the A part is your A chord, and then the 4th and 5th strings, ring finger on the 4th string on the 5th fret, and then the D is a D power chord, to like a partial D7, and I resolve it to the 4th fret on the 3rd string by playing the 3rd and 4th strings. Let's go ahead and do that in a loop. Ready? 3, 4, and to D, D7, 4th fret, back to A, 5th fret, and a D, D7, 4th fret, Now after the solo they go into a chorus again, but instead of finishing it like the first 2 choruses by strumming the G 4 times, this time they're only going to strum it twice. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and they're going to go to a B flat for 2 strums again for a count of 4. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, then to an E flat. 1, 2, 3, 4, then a C, either a power chord or open. And then a G. So let's break that down. First chord is easy, it's a G, again a power chord G if you will, without your index finger, and we're going to strum that twice. Nothing new about this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we go to a B flat power chord, which is your index finger on the 1st fret on the 5th string, and your ring finger on the 4th string on the 3rd fret, and your pinky right underneath on the 3rd string on the 3rd fret. Then we slide this one we strum twice, excuse me, so 1, 2, 3, and again 1, 2, 3, and then we slide that whole shape up to the 6th fret. Becomes an E flat. 2, 3, 4. We strum it just once for a count of 4, and then you can probably go to a C major and open one. It's easier than the bar chord. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again a count of 4, and then we finish the song on that G. Now I prefer to play power chords by barring with my pinky, but that's pretty difficult to do, so you're very welcome to play your power chords like that. But let's give the outro a shot. Okay, from a G, and I'll talk you through it. Ready? I'll do it very slowly. 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, strum it again, and 1, 2, to B flat, ready, and 1, 2, 3, strum it again, and 1, 2, move up to the 6th fret, ready, and 1, 2, 3, to C, and 1, 2, go ahead and try that one more time. 2, 3 from a G, and 1, 2, 3, strum it again, and 1, 2, 3 to B flat, and 1, 2, 3, strum it again, and 1, 2, 3 to E flat, 6th fret, 1, 2, 3, 4 to C, 1, 2, 3, and then to G, and the lead guitar is going to be playing that lick that they introduced after the first chorus. And they're going to keep repeating that over all those chords. Alright, well those are all the sections in the song. The way I hear them. They might be different, but that's the way I hear them, that's the way I teach them. I hope you guys learned something. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. And please subscribe, and I'll see you soon.